That's where Tux was this morning, on top of that table, so I'm feeding him there. Come on, Gray. Come on, Gray. I can get these guys to follow me up the hill and at least start eating up here. But it won't be long before they come back down the hill. There goes Don.
Yep, water detail.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
He's already watered his big tree down by the bridge, and now he's headed to the street with some water. I appreciate that. I'm gonna get out the hose and water all this stuff up here. We're talking about some rain on Saturday that might be decent. We'll see. It's a little humid out here this morning. I don't feel that chill in the air. Hopefully I won't get all bit up by mosquitoes. Hi, Gray. The impatiens have filled in that planter very nicely. You can't really see the hosta that's in the center anymore, but that's okay. It'll still be there even when the impatiens aren't. I beat Don out here going back.
Racing to top the hill.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to add a little bit more walk just up. You know, that's more of an incline than it may appear on video.
Come on, kid. You
Okay, I'm walking. I'm walking.
Yeah, I don't enjoy this hill on my run either. It's steady though, so that's good. But it just seems like it keeps going and going and going.
Right. No sun again.
Yeah.
Of course, if that keeps us in the 80s instead of the 90s, I'll take it. Well, you can tell I watered up here with the hose. Several mosquito bites later, none of my plants should wilt today. So Don and I have been enjoying the paper and coffee time, and I ended up bringing Tux in. First off, he really likes being a lap kitty for a while. Johnny was having him in a lot, and of course Johnny's at his father's house this week. But I'm giving him a little break from having to worry about the interlopers in his yard. That would be Stripe, Morris, and Marty. And anyway, he's been on my lap for about 30 minutes, and it's calming for me, and it's calming for him, and he's been a good boy. Hadn't you, Tux? You been a good boy? He's been a good boy. So Ruby is all charged up and ready to go for the day. And I'll tell you where I'm headed in just a minute. You can see the high-powered wall connector on Jules' side throbbing. Don bumped the charge level from 50% to 75% because we'll be taking Jules up to Durham this afternoon to the neurologist. I went into TeslaFi and I told TeslaFi to stop charging at 11 a.m. It looks like 75% was going to be like 11:40, but we cut over to shoulder, not peak, but shoulder at 11 a.m. and Don asked me to cut it off, so I have done that. The fan noise you're hearing is Don is charging his unicycle. He does that about once a week, and you know, there's a little cooling noise associated with that charging process. That is not Jules. My hydrangea sure is looking pretty. A couple days ago, Don and I put the hose on it, this one and the one that's over by the garage wall air conditioner, just to make sure while they're blooming they stay nice and watered, but looks really pretty. So I drove over here to South Park, and I'm going to make at least one loop around the walking track. No sunglasses, no hat. My chiropractor, and I support this, is saying how important it is that we get some natural light each day, and for our circadian rhythm, how we use the sun to tell our body it's time to wake up and go to sleep. And I have no doubt that that's a good idea. I'm totally into this vitamin D thing and make it yourself versus supplement and all that good stuff. Now, I don't want to overdo it, but I also think a little short walk will be fine, because I'm certainly doing that and more at the house. The heart doctor yesterday asked me to switch from naproxen back to Tylenol. I started out on Tylenol, and Tylenol is just not getting rid of the pain as good as the naproxen, but it also has a lot less side effects, and the pain is not so bad that I can't tolerate it. I just sort of wanted to try a week of anti-inflammatories and see what that did. So I'm noticing the pain a little more today on the Tylenol. You know, I really don't think the pain is my heart. I'm pretty sure it's not. So anyway, I'm here to walk. I probably will play Pokemon Go, and you know, if I feel good after one time around, maybe I'll go around twice. I highly doubt I'll go around more than 2 times. It's a quarter of a mile, one trip around, so you have to go around 4 times to walk a mile. That's probably a little too boring for me. But I have done that before on and off. I don't know. I like Taekwondo. I like group exercise. I like exercise that's a little competitive. Just walking by myself around the walking track, to me, it's really not the exercise I want, but it's the exercise my back can tolerate without causing me trouble. So you got to do what you got to do. There's a big walking trail over at Fleming Loop Park also. You know, I'm sure if I wanted to start walking, it would be good to switch between the two. This end over here by 401 by Main Street is a little loud with traffic. There's a few other people on the walking track this morning, but there's not a ton of people here. That will change once the splash pad opens. I went around once. I guess I'm gonna go around twice. When they added the splash pad, they put in the bathroom and changing building, rebuilt a new shelter area there, and upgraded the playground significantly. You can, as a parent, pretty much watch from the shelter over at what's going on the splash pad, and there are a couple of closer benches with umbrella, although maybe they could add a couple more of those. There's some training going on over there at the building for how to manage the water pumps for the splash pad. A guy was giving a lecture about the equipment in the building. Alright, don't tell. This is my 4th time around. I'm bored. I'm playing Pokemon Go, but I'm still bored. Swinging my arm around seems to make that part of my chest hurt a little more, which I already knew. But I don't feel any worse than usual, I guess. Well, at least since I left climate on, Ruby's nice and cool. Listening to a little Fergie, getting my mood elevated, enjoying my car, had me a little exercise and a little sunshine. Trying to lift myself up a little bit, because sitting in the dark house and just not feeling good, that's not helping anything. And the heart doctor didn't tell me I couldn't walk, so plus I don't think the pain is my heart. It's a little scary that it might be, but I really don't think that's what it is. I think it's from my surgery. So I'm kind of talking to the chiropractor. Maybe I'm gonna go get adjusted and see if he can put my shoulder or my 1st or 2nd rib back where they belong and try to fix things. So Don pointed out that I can come get in Jules in the garage instead of stand out there in the heat, because there's plenty of space on my side to get in, and he's right. I told him sometimes I like filming him, filming Jules or filming Ruby, so I'm just sort of used to standing out there, but considering it's 90 something, And I already had my sun exposure for the day.
That's right. She's done well. Some of us not had
are working, and that changes what you're allowed to do. So we've got to go all the way to the other side of Durham. Yeah, it's pretty far. It's 40 miles. We're saying 45 minutes. My appointment's at 3:40. They told me to come 30 minutes in advance. I told them that was ridiculous. And I'd be there about 15 minutes in advance because I filled out all the paperwork already, and I'm already in the system, and they already have my ID, and they already have my insurance card. And anyway, Don and I waited 2 hours at this location one time to see the neurologist, and I guess that put a bad, not this one, but another one, I guess that sort of put a bad taste in our mouth.
So, no flagman or flag person required technology. Just replaced 2 jobs with a stoplight.
Yeah, and I can see the cars coming from the other direction now. Interesting. I saw this the other day, but there was actually a person here and/or they weren't using it right at the, I mean, it was set up, but it wasn't in use. So now I'm actually getting to see it in use.
Yeah, I don't.
So it ought to be turning to green here. That was the last car to come through. Huh. I wonder if it's just time delayed and trusting, or there's one person actually paying attention to it doing the right thing, or I don't know.
Well, we'll keep an eye out and we'll look and see if we can see somebody spotting or watching what's going on. But they have dug this thing up here. I've been coming up this road for the entire 30 years, and this is the nth time they fixed that culvert there.
Well, we didn't see a person. It appeared to be operating all on its own. Determined to get away from those cones, which are now ending. But she's over. She'd probably just take you right back to the other lane.
Yeah, right in front of this other car.
Yeah, she wants out of the passing lane, but then of course there's a car over there. Oh, car. There should be a rule. Stay in your lane for at least a minute before you switch lanes.
All hesitant about.
Well, she still wants out of the passing lane, but she can't get out of the passing lane because there's a car. Just quit trying to go.
She was trying to slow down.
Right. You put your foot on the accelerator to keep her from doing that?
Yeah, so I don't get run over by that guy.
Yeah, well, he's really speeding.
No, I don't know what she's
We're
doing.
good. We don't turn right for 4.5 miles. Don can't read this with his sunglasses on.
Right.
It's not big enough. He probably, even if he had his readers on, maybe he could read it. I don't know, but he can't read. We don't see downtown Durham over here, 147 going through, but there's Durham. We come up here usually when I'm going to one of my Duke doctors. We used to come up here all the time for the Museum of Life and Science, but the kids are bigger now. There's the Durham Bulls Athletic Park. They are playing baseball. They're back playing. There's at least 3 Teslas in this parking lot. Let's see, there's a blue Model 3, a black Model 3, and there was a red Model Y. Oh, and there's another Model 3.
Yeah.
So that's 4 Teslas plus Jules. That makes 5. Wow, it's a whole different parking lot now. They close at 5 and it's basically 5, and So, but we were in with the doctor for a long time, and then they drew blood. It's not like they kept us waiting for forever. We really waited a reasonable amount of time today. It's a good thing you were always keeping me smiling.
Yeah.
So no earth-shattering stuff today, but they drew 8 vials of blood to send off for tests. Things like B12 and other vitamin and mineral deficiencies.
Right.
Just because you take B doesn't mean you absorb B.
That's right.
B can cause nerve problems. I don't know what all they're doing, but they'll show up in the Duke My chart as the results come in. And they want me to go for an EMG nerve test.
Nerve conductive test.
And she's more of a pain in the face,
headache.
Facial pain and headache neurologist. And she wants me to talk to a musculoskeletal neurologist. And she gave me one over-the-counter thing to try.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of other, I'm already trying several over the Butterbur and Feverfew and a couple of other over-the-counter things that are supposed to be good for nerve things that haven't seemed to be helping. But of course the Butterbur and the Feverfew is more for migraines. So anyway, she gave me an over-the-counter, and we talked about in reserve some prescription drugs, which I am loath to agree to take, but maybe I'm miserable enough to agree to try at this point. So anyway, I got it scheduled tomorrow because the places are closed now. It's like they just shut down at 5 up here. It's just, I mean, really? So we'll get the appointments made tomorrow because I don't have enough appointments.
No, you don't.
I don't. Yeah, see, this is what happens. We try to fix me. We put me in the healthcare system. We go to a bunch of appointments. They fail to fix me. I start to feel better, and I like jerk myself out of the healthcare system because I can't take it anymore. So, but I'm going to try to let them get to the bottom of this because I'm more miserable this time than I have been any other time. So we'll see. She wasn't willing to concede that it's just chronic Lyme related.
No, she wouldn't accept that.
No, Dr. Leek was pretty sure. She's not quite as sure, but I'm good with blood tests. Are pretty non-invasive. They take some blood, they're going to run some tests. I'm really good with that. So we told her to exhaust the options because I need to know.
Yes. As
scary as knowing is sometimes.
That's right.
So here's the pretty Model Y.
Yep.
So one of the things that Don and I have noticed lately when we're in traffic aware cruise control is that Jules acts a lot like she's in autopilot.
Yep.
So explain to them what just happened.
Yeah, so I was going through downtown, and a guy had parallel parked. He was getting out of the car, and I moved over, and basically was straddling the double yellow line well clear so that he could fully open his door, get out, had plenty of room. But traffic aware cruise control basically stopped the car, or tried to stop the car, because it saw that pedestrian and it basically freaked out. But I wasn't in autopilot. It didn't fuss at me when I crossed over the double yellow line. None of that stuff happened. It's just all of a sudden it saw a pedestrian in the, what is that? They call it drivable space. And it saw that pedestrian and it slammed on the brakes.
Right. It's just like, you know, you expect for traffic aware cruise control to brake when the car in front of you brakes. And you expect for it to keep up the speed. And yeah, you don't want it to hit anything, obviously. But it's sort of a fine line there when it's sort of off to the side of you, but the car is braking in the middle of a totally drivable lane.
Right.
I mean, I certainly understand why Jules was concerned about that gentleman, but as a human, our eyes knew we were okay.
Right, and he did too, because he wasn't giving me dirty looks or anything.
Right, and that's that stretch of Main Street where I've talked so often about never driving too close to the cars. Of course, I don't usually have on traffic aware cruise control. But Don, he likes to test and push all those limits. My, we had some rain while we were gone.
See the puddle
I
down
see
there?
the puddle down there. That must have been more than a little rain.
More than a sprinkle.
Wow.
Well, we even have a little puddle right here in our mailbox.
Wow. You're going to check the mail?
Yeah.
You'll have to get out now. I was running my mouth and you didn't pull up.
Yeah,
That was me. I did that to you. Sorry.
That's okay.
Well, I'm excited it rained. We need rain. We need lots of rain. We're behind on rain. Last year, every word out of my mouth was, "Oh my God, it's rained again." And this year, every word out of
in the mailbox.
I got Legos. It's been days and days.
That can't be Legos. I mean, do you see how big of this box, a bag of Legos? That's Legos.
It is Legos. But the one that was supposed to be here Monday, coming out of Philadelphia, is still in transit.
Aww.
And not here. There's one more coming tomorrow, but then that one from Philadelphia is the one I really need it, and it's not here.
I was hoping there was something to eat in that bag. Open it up. Let's find out if there's something to eat in the bag.
It's Legos. It's a lot of Legos. But anyway, as I was saying, this year all I do is complain that we're not getting enough rain. Last year was too much rain. This year, that's the weather though, right? It never comes in the exact dose you need.
My girl would be fickle. That's the term we use for that.
Yeah. I watered this morning though, so just to let you know, I contributed to it raining.
That's right.
And it's wet.
We'll have to check the rain gauge.
Yeah.
I mean, honest, we may have a tenth of an inch or something.
I don't think that I accidentally put any water in it when I watered this morning, so I was careful.
That would be good.
Yeah, I'd say a tenth of an inch.